What is up, y'all? It is Grant with another episode of the Groovy Files, and I got my main man Jay with me.
What's good?
And I got my main man Don with me.
Yo.
Today we'll be talking about Cocaine Pinata, the Freddie Gibbs Madlib album that a lot of people think saved his career and things of that nature, or put him into another tier of artistry and things like that. So first off, I want to say is I feel like this album like reinforces the importance, of course, like of the rapper producer collab, but more importantly, it made pretty much in the social media age, it made everybody be like, okay, man, hey, so and so and so and so need to do a album with Madlib. Like, as much as I love Mad Villainy, and I think it's incredible, a lot of people started. It's Madlib and Alchemist are the two people that are the poster child for rapper producer collabs. And I feel like Pinata, like when things like Pinata came about, that's when it started kicking off to me.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like comparing it to the thing about Mad Villainy, and the reason that wasn't happening like as frequently around that time is especially with the structure of that album. That album was so specifically crafted for MF Doom. Like, it was difficult for you to imagine what other artists would sound like with that type of production. As versatile as somebody like Madlib is, which was known at the time, but you wouldn't have listened to an album like Mad Villainy and come to that conclusion. Whereas when you hear Pinata, you can listen to the songs with features like you hear Earl Sweatshirt or Mac Miller or Michi Darko over Madlib production. You say, okay, I see what this would sound like. I also want to see what he would sound like with whoever. I feel like there was more of a clear vision as to what a collab with other rappers would sound like. And I think that's the difference between hearing something like Pinata or hearing Mad Villainy.
That album really did. I know what you were saying earlier as far as like, we talked about this earlier about how they kind of saved Freddie Gibbs' career in a sense, or put him in a different tier. I really can't imagine what the rap landscape would be if that album didn't exist. Just because, like you're saying, it put so much emphasis on collabing with a producer and locking in with the producer. Because you find a sound together instead of just being like, oh, just send me a beat and kind of just going from there. And it made a classic. And then you start seeing all these other rapper producer collabs, and Freddie Gibbs has been able to make all this other amazing music since then. And it's because he got the opportunity to do that instead. I mean, I got the opportunity to do that album. And I just can't imagine where we'd be if that didn't happen.
What is the? I think I have two questions then. What is the poster child song for this album? It has to be Deeper, right? Or Thuggin'? I don't like that, Jay.
No. That's not me disagreeing. That's me just I'm thinking about it, because I mean,
hold on, I'm also thinking about it.
Yeah, Deeper is a great song, obviously, but I'm thinking because would it not be Thuggin'?
It would have to be Thuggin'. It's Thuggin' or Deeper.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. even though Thuggin was his first wasn't that his first single with Madlib, like as promo for the album. I mean, I think both of those were released before the album itself dropped. So I think those were the perfect choices. Like looking at the track list, like those were the perfect choices to get people excited. I think Shame was also a single, but those songs were the perfect choices to, without getting into what the whole album would sound like. I feel like it covers most of the bases with those songs.
I'm trying to think. I want to say I'm gonna go with Thuggin. I think that's my final pick. I think it's gonna be Thuggin.
Yeah. That's what I'm going with.
And I think for the best verse on Pinata,
the song or
the song, I think I have to go with Michi Darko.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm not even a huge Flatbush Zombies fan. Like, but the way that he his delivery over that sample is so crazy to me. Like it was the perfect contrast. It was it's one of his best performances for sure.
But does Pinata make a top? I'm assuming we all agree Pinata makes the top 10 all decade album for that decade for hip hop.
Without trying to make a list, I would assume so. Like, especially looking at, with underground releases during that time, it's without question like in the top 3. But for overall, I can see it cracking the top 10 of that decade from 2010 to 2019.
Don, you got any final thoughts?
I think
at work.
Yeah.
But moving on, I wanted to talk about Travis Scott. And there's been a lot of discussion about his music on my TLA because Utopia dropped and everything like that. But somebody made a point on my timeline this morning is that, hey, this Travis Scott album sounds beautiful, but he's saying nothing at the same time. And I'm not trying to agree with that, but I want to kind of expand on it because it's kind of like it puts how I feel about Travis in such a good way, but at the same time lets me know, okay, I still like the music. So we always talk about oh, you listen to so and so rapper for production and then things like that, things of that nature. But even then, there's a lot of guys that I still remember bars by them, and they don't make themselves a musical afterthought, if that makes sense. Like, for example, if I get to listen to a Gunna album, I know for a fact that the production is probably going to be one of the better things about the album. At the same time, I can still listen to it and hear and remember at least what Gunna is saying. Or
Right.
even Playboy Cardi, Whole Lot of Red. We would agree, pretty much everybody would agree, hey, the production on this album is insane, but also I still remember what Cardi is saying. Like I can still quote you some bars off that album. Or like, and somebody mentioned Pierre Bourne, and I think Pierre Bourne is not a good rapper in the slightest. But he definitely has bars. I remember, like, and I feel like that's what people. I still feel like you can be focused on mainly like primarily music making, but at the same time, not be a musical afterthought. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I would say, you're like, I don't need like you said, I'm not listening to a Travis Scott album to hear him borrow. Like I know that's not him. I know that's not what he does. But yeah, it's like his verses, and I listened to Utopia. I listened to it one time through. I'll listen to it some more later, but off one listen, it's fine. Like I don't dislike it. It's pretty similar to some of his other projects. Of course, the production sounds larger than life, which is what he's always going for, and I think that's fine. I'm like I said, I'm not listening to. I don't need him, barring up. But yeah, sometimes it's like, damn, bro, you didn't say
anything worth a damn. Like you ain't put no like. I hate using this term, but you ain't even. Travis Scott is such a weird ass artist to me because he is I would call him a superstar level artist.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he's a superstar level artist. At the same time, it's like a lot of his music feels hollow and just like, okay, this is for the producers and this is for the features on this album. And that's what I'm listening for, how he curates it all. And don't get me wrong, that's a great trait to have. But at the same time, it's kind of like, what about you specifically that I like about this album? But also, he's one of the best performers of our generation, give or take certain instances, even though I can't look over that. But I think that's just being
I know
being careless. But you know what, kidding that. Like his stage presence is undeniable. So like he's really one of the only he's literally one of the only artists I can think of. He's such a weird artist in that aspect.
Yeah, he's got, he's got a lot of stuff that I enjoy. But like you said, bro, the raps are like, give me something. Like, I don't want you to be. I don't want no heavy metaphors or
give me something.
Anything like I don't want anything like that. Just give me a line I can remember. Like it's funny because
exactly.
we talk about how Drake sometimes dumps his lyrics down for IG caption bars or whatever you want to call them. It's just like, give me that. Like
it's just like you're not even
something that I heard your project and I'd be like, oh, I remember him saying that. Like even if it's bad, give me something bad to remember.
Like, dog, it has dwindled every single fucking album, and I do not get it. Like Rodeo, I can read. Like Rodeo, for example, I remember Apple Pie.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. I remember Apple Pie. I like the song. I don't care.
No, it's a good song. Nah, I'm with you.
But I remember songs off that album. I remember quotables off of Birds, like "Pick up the phone, baby." That's it. Like it's that easy.
Give me something.
Like Travis Scott is somebody that Travis Scott is like a role player. It's like a role player on a really good team with a good coach, a really good development staff, a really good situation in general. He doesn't have to do enough. He doesn't have to do a lot to to deliver a good album from in terms of like, okay, I'm gonna give you my ad libs, I'm gonna give you my verses and things like that. That's all he really does.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's not a bad thing, but at the same time, it kind of I guess I don't want to be pretentious. Like I'm not trying to sound pretentious at all, but like I guess to somebody that listens to a lot of rap music, it kind of stand. I can kind of tell when somebody's like, okay, they not really doing all the work here. Like for example, if I listen to Kendrick, Drake, or Cole album, I know for a fact I'm listening to them. I'm listening for them, or even a Meek album. Even a Meek now. I would say I'm listening for him. In a future album, I would say I'll listen for him. Even if I don't like it, I know for a fact that, hey, I'm listening for them. With Travis, it's like, okay, I'm listening for production. I'm listening for what features are going to be on here. I'm listening for how the project is put together as a whole. And we don't view all rap artists like that. And I don't think that's a good or a bad thing. I think it's just like something that you got to think about.
Yeah, and like nobody that's something and I think like you saying it's not good or bad. I think it's a pretty good thing. Like I'm fine with rappers occupying different mold. Now that mold might not be for everybody, but like I think that's okay.
I agree. Like Travis Scott is just he's such a weird, the dynamic he gives off is something that I haven't seen in a while, but not in a necessarily good or bad way. If that makes sense.
Yeah, he's like you said, like in the lead up, it feels like he treats himself as an afterthought when the songs are being made. I mean, some of the music is still good. So I mean, not to take anything away, but it's still.
I agree, man. My final thought on Travis is this. I don't know. I actually don't have a final thought.
Okay, I was about to say, Brendan, my phone did I lose connection or something? Okay.
But we gonna move to the next topic, and I want to talk about what the next rap trend is. So, what I think, and we talked about the hip hop is dead stuff before, and how I think it's foolish, but what hip hop is going through is what honestly every single medium in existence right now is going through. Like, for example, people complain about remakes and everything like that. That's just not happening with hip hop. It's happening with entertainment.
Yeah.
It's happening with movies. It's happening with all these other mediums. So, what I think the next rap trend will be is back to the basics. I really do. I think it's going to be back to the basics. I think we are going to see a brand new era come, and people be like, because like when people talk about hip hop is dead before, that same exact thing came in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what came after that?
Right.
The blog era.
Right.
So I'm not saying the same thing's gonna happen, but at the same time, it's kind of like I view hip hop as more as a cycle but also it evolves at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Yeah,
I think that's what the next I think the next trend is that we going back to the basics, bro.
yeah. I find I think we've talked about this before, but I find trends difficult to predict just because people are unpredictable. But yeah, I first of all I just
You don't know.
I love music like of all forms. So like I appreciate, you know, artistic growth and all of that. It's just like nothing. History's always repeating itself. Like you never know what's gonna come next, but you know it'll be. There's gonna be something for everybody to grab onto.
Like
That might be a little that might be a little vague for a prediction, but I feel like there's always gonna be something that you can hang your hat on, latch onto, whatever cliche term or phrase you want to use, that there's gonna be something. There's gonna be something for you. I don't know what the next trend is, but I know there's gonna be something in it
that's how I
for
feel about.
everybody.
That's how I feel about rap now. Like it's kind of like, okay, people are using parody in rap as a way to shit on it, than a way to exemplify rap's greatness. Like, okay, you're not for like I've never seen a genre before where it's like, okay, you don't have to listen to this anymore. You have streaming now. You don't have to listen to certain artists. Like I just don't believe the whole apparently every rapper is ass right now. Like the jump, people don't think what they're asking for are from a specific subgenre. That's my thing. Like a specific, you asking respectfully, you're asking a lot of these mainstream rappers. The stuff that you're looking for, you'll probably get it out of somebody else. Somebody is big, but they're there.
Even then, bro, it's just like what's hot right now might not be for you, but it's for somebody. Like it's like, yeah, it might not be for me, but somebody is gravitating to that. And I think that's okay. Everything ain't gotta be for me.
Anything I be for you, but acting like there's just nothing out there for you is another thing. Like there's something out there
Yeah,
for you.
I'm not with that either. I'm not with that either.
But my final thought is that, man, we gonna go back to artistry, bro. That's the formula. The women are kind of all doing it, but the men in mass are gonna have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing because when I'm seeing on my timeline every single day, everybody's getting tired of certain people giving. It's like, for example, somebody was mad at like, oh, another 21 Savage feature. I want people used to love that man features. Now it's
That's
like,
the thing, bro. It's just like, and you know, that's part of everything is like you said, history repeats itself, everything is cyclical. It's just like at some point it might not be for you no more, and that's fine. Or he might not be, you know, delivering the way you feel like he used to. That's fine too. But the next thing is gonna come. It's all a cycle.
but in short, that's it for me. We appreciate y'all for tuning into this episode. Y'all stay easy. We out.